Hello everyone, hope you're doing well today. I wasn't really going to record today because it looks like there's a bit of a storm coming in, but there's something about storms that just give me a little bit of energy and make me a little bit excited. I don't know about you, but today I want to talk about something that kind of ignites my passion. It's something that I think about when you're not really feeling it, you're feeling a bit sluggish, you can't really be bothered getting up and starting, and you don't really have that motivation to get going, or so people say. So how often do you hear people who say, oh, I want to do this, but I'm just not motivated. Or, I'd like to get started, but I shouldn't have the energy today. I'm really not feeling it. Well, lots of people say that this is motivation. However, it's actually courage. You see, motivation doesn't come from before something happens. It comes from seeing action taking place. And then the excitement comes, the feelings come, and that's where the motivation picks up. You see, not starting is often lack of two things. One, clarity, or two, courage. If you've got a big joy ahead of you and you don't have those little baby steps you need to do and you're not really clear about how to progress, it becomes really hard to get started. So getting that clarity right is a big help. But number two, the courage. If you want to go for a jog in the morning, maybe you're sitting on the couch, like, oh, I can't be bothered. It takes 2 seconds of courage to launch yourself to your feet. Say you want to call someone, but you're not really feeling it. It takes 2 seconds of courage to press that dial button. And then, when you're up on your feet, you walk over to your shoes, the phone starts ringing, you're going to have to say something under pressure. So that motivation starts to come through. Now, I heard this metaphor from one of my mentors, and it really hit home with me. So this is one I like to discuss and talk about and use whenever I'm feeling a little lack of motivation. It stuck with me and I really ran with it. So what we're going to talk about today is treating your business, your goals, your dreams like fire, right? Have you ever been on a camping trip and you ever see someone who's out there, it's getting dark, it's getting cold, and they sit down and they're like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything to that fire until there's a little bit of warmth. Once there's a tiny bit of warmth coming, then I'm going to put some logs on, then I'm going to really get it going, but I'm not doing any work until it gives me something back. No one does that. No one ever goes, I'm not putting wood on this fire until I get my warmth first. So why do we treat our goals and our business in the same way? We don't want to put the work and effort in until we see some results coming. But how do we expect results when we're not actually putting anything in? So treating your goals and your business like a fire is one of my favorite metaphors to really break down. So this is what we're going to do. So first things first, when you're building a fire, if you're out camping, I like to relate it back to the business in the sense of you've got to know your why. Knowing your why, and you might hear me say this a lot, is super important. It's one of the most motivating things that you can keep in your mind. So if we're building a fire, what is our why? You might see these symbols coming up a lot throughout some of these videos, but that's because they're important across all factors. So our why, when we're building a fire, pretty straightforward. It's heat. We want to be warm. We know our why. If we don't build a fire, we're going to be cold when it gets dark. We might not have anything to cook on. So our why is our heat. Now, in our business, it's really important to know our why. Maybe you want money, maybe you want more time, maybe you want, the ability to travel or something a bit location independent, whatever it is, knowing your why. So for this, let's just say we want more money to be a bit more financially free. So we need to know our why. Next, when you're out camping, building a fire, what do? First things first, you go out into this giant forest and you start collecting bits of wood. You get some kindling, you get some pine cones, you get the little twigs, you get the big twigs, you get the huge logs that are meant to burn for ages. So you go out there, you collect all of your wood, and you don't just rely on one bit of wood, do you? You rely on multiple sources of wood. So we want to collect our wood. All different types, different sizes. This is very similar to our business, our goals, our dreams. When we first have an idea or have a venture we want to take part in, we need information, right? We go out there, we jump on this huge wide web, and we go looking for information. Now, just like when you're building a fire, there'll be so much stuff in the forest that's no good to you. Wet moss, leaves that are green, all that sort of stuff that doesn't burn. you might find on your way, but it's not necessary. Same with the information. You might get inundated with so much information about every aspect that might not even be relevant to you. So it's really important to go out there and search for the right information, gathering it all together. Now, what do we do once we've got all our wood? We tend to bring it back and put it in a pile, right? We want to organize it. Organize, and let's say construct. The same with your information. Before you start diving into your goal, taking action, jumping in, you want to have a little bit of structure. So you take all the information and you set up your base structure. So you might have heard me talk about this before, but skydiving is one of my dreams. And what I would do, why? Because I wanted to jump out of a plane. Logical? No, but that was my why. Then I went and I gathered all the information. I spoke to a bunch of different companies and found out pricing. And then I had to come and get all the information that I found online, etc. and spend the first couple of days breaking it down, getting the right structure, listening to the professionals and learning how to go through the steps in the logical order so that I could get a really good base. So just like the fire, once we have our organized structure ready to go, what do we need then, right? After that, we need our igniter. So, fire just doesn't start on its own, right? You need to start it with something. Matches, lighter, flint, everyone's different, everyone has their own way of getting started, but whatever it is, you need something to start. Now this, in my head, is sort of similar to that motivation. So you need to take action. So this is the same as taking those first action steps. Once you actually have your information, you've organized it, now you've actually got to go do something. You can get all the information you want, but if you don't actually take a step forward, you don't reach out, you don't take that moment of courage, then your plan's not going to go anywhere. The same thing with the lighter. If you don't actually have a start, then it's not going to start your fire. Now, this here is quite crucial. Lots of people, they will try once, and then they'll fail, and they'll give up. This is where see if I can find my other pen. This is where a lot of things end. People try once, they fail, they're like, this isn't for me, it's not working, I give up. Now, I want to take it back to the fire. If you had your fire set up, everything ready to go, and you've got your lighter, you're lighting it, it's not working. If you just go, all right, that's it, no fire, I'm done. No, of course not. No. You keep trying. You keep trying. If that doesn't work, you go find another lighter, right? If that doesn't work, you go ask someone for matches. You do whatever you can in order to get that fire started. You want to get a spark going because you know your why. If you don't keep trying, if you don't repeatedly try to start that fire, you are not going to have your heat. And then at the end of the day, you're going to be freezing cold, wet, miserable, probably, wishing that you had given it a little bit more of a go at this stage here. So when you get to the action taking, keep trying. If you really want to achieve your goal and you know your why deep down, keep trying over and over and again. Eventually, you'll get that spark and something will catch, right? And that's what happens. The next stage, here you see a little bit of smoke, maybe some flame. That's it, we're off. We've actually got something going here. Sweet. This is where excitement comes. This is where lots of the motivation should come, right? So the flame's going, you might be down there blowing on it, trying to build it up. Maybe if you're talking about a business that you want to try and start, maybe you've got your first client. Awesome. Now, once you've got a smoke flame going, you just sit back and go, sweet, job done. No. Same with your first client. You don't get one client and go, that's it, I've made it. Here we go. No, this is where after this point here, again, very crucial. This is where most of your effort has to come. Now that you've got a bit of smoke and flame going, now that you've got your first client, now you need to put all of your energy in. Focus on giving it your time, giving it your effort, making sure it doesn't go out, really nurturing it. This is the most crucial part of building a fire and of building a business. Once it starts, you want to run with it. Keep that momentum going, keep it up. You don't just sit back and go, oh, I'll hope it takes off, I'll bring a fire to it in a little bit. No, you give it everything you've got to get that fire going. Once it starts going, what do? You add more wood. Okay, we've got a bit of a flame. Let's keep feeding it. A little bit more wood, some small twigs, some bigger twigs. Same with your business. Same with your goal. You've got your first step taken. All right, let's keep feeding it. We want to give all of our attention and energy so that we can get more clients. We want to take those further steps. So this is crucial. Once you have that startup, you really want to give it all of your energy to build it up. Now, again, once this fire is going, you've sort of got a little bit of flame coming, you've put in your effort. Now, all right, there's a little bit of a fire going. Can you feel some warmth? Maybe a little bit, right? But it's not over. Right? So you've got the wood going, you've got it building up, you can feel a little bit of warmth. Things are going well. Perfect. Same with your business. You've got a few clients, you're giving it the attention. Maybe at this point, you're seeing that first little bit of income. It's like, oh, I've actually got a paycheck. This is great. This should boost your motivation. This should not stop you. Same with the fire. Once you've got that bit of heat, you don't stop there. That should boost your motivation. You're very close now. This is where things are really taking off. So what do we do from here? Well, we consistently get into a nice routine. Let's go this way. A nice routine. So we're going to nurture this fire now. We're going to consistently add more logs, build it up. So again, consistent supply of wood. So at this stage, we want to be nurturing our fire, putting pieces on bit by bit to keep that flame going. We want to get it from a small fire to this big raging fire. So we've got a big log burning and it's looking after itself. Same here with our business. We want to keep adding. We want to keep putting our energy in. We want to build more customers. Just because we've got a little bit of income coming in doesn't mean we stop. We want to keep this going. We want to take this from a little bit of money to a lot, which is our goal, right? We know our why, so we keep working on it. We know our why here. We want our heat, so we keep working on it. It's not big enough yet. We want more. Now I'm going to need some more wood here. Let's take some of these down so I can use them again. Right. Just go like this for now. So, right, we had our fire. It started to make a nice little bit of progress. Here we go. Starting here. Okay, so once the fire's going, we get into a routine of slowly putting bits of wood on, right? Building it up, building it up, building it up. Then before you know it, this fire is raging. So you've put in all that effort, you've put in that work. It might have taken you a few hours. You've collected the wood. You've put it together in the right order. You've continuously tried to light it. You've got the flame going. You've built it up. You've put on the wood. You continue to nurture it. And now you have this nice, big fire. Right? The same with your business. If you keep applying and keep pushing and keep going with it, with your energy, with your ideas, with your commitment, during the early stages, you're going to end up having a big, fruitful business. Now, once this is nice and warm and the fire's raging, that's when you can take a little step back. But you don't stop. No. Remember, you go back to you still have your routine. Let's see if we can have this. You still have your routine of consistent wood, but now that it's quite big, you take a step back, you put one log on every now and again. Before you know it, you're sitting around this big, nice, warm fire with all your friends, all your family. It's keeping everyone nice and warm, and you can enjoy the rest of the night. Well, same with your business, right? So this, we have our heat. Once you put the effort in, and the business is booming and you've got consistent customers, then you can take a little step back. You want to keep feeding it, keep giving it your energy, but now you can enjoy the hard work that you've put in. You're going to have a consistent flow of income, and before you know it, you'll be sitting around with your friends, with your family, everyone enjoying the hard work that you've already done. So as you can see, building your business is much like building a fire. Can you imagine having a fire that someone continuously brings you pieces of wood so that now all you do is sit there, a constant supply of wood here, constant heated fire, and you just keep feeding that fire with a piece of wood. Well, this is what residual income's like. If you've got a business based around residual income, you put in all the hard work, before you know it, you'll be sitting back and someone will just keep delivering money to your doorstep, month after month, week after week, year after year, whatever kind of payment system you've got going. Now, a little bonus. So I don't know about you, but when I first went camping, I went with my old man. He knew everything. Right? Well, it seemed like he knew everything to me anyway. But if I didn't go with him at the start, yes, I probably could have created a fire. I probably could have got it going. It might have taken me hours and hours and hours. But when I first learned, when I was getting started, I went with Dad. See, he knew what he was doing because he'd done it before. So he would be like, all right, let's get the wood. So I'd go out and get the wood, you know. Dad, is this bit good? No. Is this bit good? No. Is this bit? Yeah, okay, bring it in. So I'd come up with all my sticks, dump them into a pile, and just think, light it, and it goes off. But no, that's not how it works. Right? So what he would do is he'd go, no, Jake, what we want to do is put all the kindling in one pile here, maybe the pine cones. Then we want to get the little sticks, the bigger sticks, and the big logs, and order it all, right? And then what we want to do is structure it. Don't put everything on at once, you know, just a little bit here, build it up, get those oxygen going in, nice airflow. This is all stuff I had no idea about. However, doing all this makes that fire lighting process much easier. So he's got the good structure, and then he starts to light the fire, but instead of just putting it in one place, you know, he lights on 4 or 5 different areas. Before you know it, this fire's up and raging within a matter of 20 minutes. So with Dad's help, I managed to make a fire in 20 minutes, but on my own, it may have taken like 4 hours of trial and error. Well, this is the joy of having a mentor. Just like my dad was to me, someone can be like for you in business. Yes, you can probably make it. You can probably put in all the hard effort, go through all the long days, weeks, months, years, trying to figure it all out on your own. Or you get yourself a mentor who's done what you want to do, knows exactly the right steps to do it, and guides you through every step of the way. So tells you what wood to get, tells you how to build it up, tells you where to light it, tells you when to put wood on the fire. It's the same thing in a business. If you get a mentor to walk you through step by step, you are going to build that fire or build that business a lot faster. Now, number 2, as you get older, well, me anyway, I start to go camping with friends. You know, we'd make a fire as a group, get around, get together, and instead of just you building the fire on your own, you'd all build the fire together because you know that together you all want heat, right? You all want to be warm. Same with the business. Why not get your friends together? Get people who all want the same goal. I mean, I'm sure that if you were making a lot of money, your friends would also want to figure out how and join you, right? Well, this is the same thing. Being part of a community really helps that growing process. So when I go camping, you know, one of my mates was a really good diver. And so we'd go and build this fire. And what he'd do is he'd get his fin, his little flipper, and just fan this fire. See, before I had my head in there, blowing, getting smoke all in my face, getting covered in soot, on my hands and knees. It worked, but it wasn't that efficient. And then here comes my friend, and he's got some great advice. You know, he's done it a few times before, he's learned a few things, so he tells me to use a flipper, right? Same in business. You might be working with someone who's on the same level as you, who's done a little bit of work, and they might come up with a great idea that boosts your business. You know, find a friend that's going to tell you to use a flipper on your business. It's really going to help grow you and get you together as a group to your final goal. So working in a community of like-minded people to achieve the overall goal is going to help you get there faster, and having a mentor. So as you can see, I hope this has kind of helped a little bit for you to visualize what's needed to really build a successful business or really go after a successful goal or dream. You know, don't get stuck in I don't have the motivation, I don't don't have the momentum just yet. Don't get stuck on, trying one time. The action. Oh, let's see. There we go. Failing on the action. Keep trying. Just because you fail once doesn't mean you stop. You keep going, you put in the effort once that momentum goes, and before you know it, you'll be sitting by a nice warm fire or reeling in a nice residual income. Now, residual income is something for another video, which I'll be happy to explain at a later date. But for now, what I want you to take away is business, goals, dreams, they take work, right? They take effort. Sometimes when we don't want to be working, we need to be to set ourselves up for the future. Now, I think Charles Darwin said that fire, apart from maybe language, was the greatest discovery made by man. So if you can take the process of humans' greatest discovery and apply it to your business or your goals or your dreams, I'm sure you're going to be very successful. So I hope that's helped, and I look forward to speaking to you in another video. Peace.